Have you ever thought about how a single tiny mistake, like one slip of the finger, could change everything? Well, we're about to dive into a story about a human error so small you'd barely notice it. Except this one led to one of the most expensive screw-ups in financial history.
Okay, get ready for this number. $225 million. Just let that sink in for a second. I mean, it's an amount of money that's hard to even wrap your head around. And to lose it, how on earth does that happen?
Poof, gone. And the craziest part, it wasn't some huge market crash. It wasn't some elaborate criminal scheme. Nope. It was all because of a single, simple typing mistake. A typo. Seriously, how is that even possible? Okay, let's walk through exactly how this disaster unfolded.
All right, so our story starts back in December of 2005. The scene is the Tokyo Stock Exchange. You can just imagine the energy, right? And at the heart of this whole thing isn't just one person. We're talking about a massive, massive financial institution. And that institution is Mizuho Securities. Back in 2005, these guys were absolute titans in Japanese finance. I mean, we're not talking about some small startup here. This was one of the biggest, most trusted firms on the planet, handling billions with a B in trades every single day. These were the aspects, right? The pros.
So what exactly went down on that morning? The whole entire catastrophe. It all comes down to just a simple mix-up. Two numbers getting swapped, all because of one single disastrous keystroke. Picture this. It's a totally normal day on the trading floor. A trader at Mizuho gets a pretty simple task. All they have to do is sell just one single share of a new company called JCOM. The price? 610,000 yen, which, at the time was about 5,000 US dollars. This is bread and butter stuff, a totally routine, everyday transaction.
And this is the moment. This is where it all goes completely off the rails. The plan was to sell one share for 610,000 yen, but instead, the trader typed in the complete opposite. They put in an order to sell 610,000 shares for just 1 yen apiece. 1 yen.
It was a classic fat finger error, Just a simple case of switching the numbers around. But in the lightning-fast world of electronic trading, that one tiny, tiny mistake, it instantly put $250 million at risk.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, so a person messed up, it happens. But surely there are systems in place to catch something like this, right? Some kind of safety net. Well, that's exactly where this story turns from a simple mistake into a complete and utter catastrophe.
And they knew it almost immediately. The team at Mizuho saw the error within seconds. You can bet alarms started blaring. Can you just imagine the sheer panic exploding in that room? They just realized they were about to sell a gigantic block of shares for less than the price of a gumball.
So, naturally, they did what any of us would do. They scrambled, they panicked, they hit cancel. They tried over and over and over again to pull that order back from the Tokyo Stock Exchange before anyone could act on it.
But here's the terrifying part. The absolute nightmare scenario they were facing. In their system, at that exact moment, there basically was no undo button. The order was out there, live, and the very system that was supposed to protect them from this kind of thing, it was about to fail. Spectacularly. Look, the system wasn't just unhelpful. It was fundamentally broken. There was no emergency kill switch to stop a trade like this. There wasn't even a simple pop-up that said, hey, are you absolutely sure you want to do this? And here's the kicker, the most damning part of all. When they finally sent the command to cancel the trade, the Tokyo Stock Exchange's own system couldn't even process it. It was just a perfect storm of human error meeting technological failure.
So, what happens next? What happens after the dust settles on a disaster that costs $250 million? Well, what you get is a very, very expensive lesson.
The fallout was, it was immediate. You had executives holding these big press conferences, bowing in apology, which is a huge, significant gesture in Japan. People resigned. The Tokyo Stock Exchange itself had to come out and admit, yeah, our systems failed. And just like that, the story became legendary. It's now a textbook case study in what not to do.
When you really boil it all down, it's like a simple, terrifying recipe for disaster. Step 1. You take something that is absolutely guaranteed to happen. A human being will make a mistake. It's inevitable. Step 2. You mix that with a system that has zero plan for that mistake. And what do you get? Catastrophe.
And really, that leads us to the single most important lesson from this whole mess.
It's a simple idea, but it's one that should be plastered on the wall of every trading floor, every software company, every engineering lab on the planet. And it's this: humans make mistakes. It's a given. It's going to happen. So the job of any good system is to expect them and to build a safety net for when, not if, they happen.
And that's really why this story still matters so much today. The Mizuho Typo. It isn't just some crazy story from the world of high finance. It's a foundational lesson for anyone who builds anything complex. It teaches us all that maybe the most important feature you can design isn't raw speed or fancy bells and whistles. It's resilience. It's having that undo button.
So I'll leave you with this question. This doesn't have to be about money, right? It could be about your data, your safety, your company's reputation. Think about the systems you rely on every single day, whether it's at work or at home. What is that one simple little mistake that nobody's ever thought to plan for? What's your $250 million typo just waiting to happen?